welcome everybody to the Town of Norton Planning Board meeting of Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024. Again, this is a hybrid public meeting, so members of the public are welcome to participate in person or remotely. In person, we are at the Norton Public Library at 68 East Main Street. Those who can join the meeting via video can use the Zoom link available in the meeting agenda, or the Zoom app using meeting ID 638-929-1060. There's also a phone number should any of you wish to dial in directly. The meeting will also be available on Cable Access, Channel 15, Channel 9, for those wishing to view it in that way. In addition, for future meetings, please feel free to email questions to the board ahead of the meeting to Brian Carmichael, town staff, so they can be read into the record in the event you're not able to attend. So with that minute spiel out of the way, we'll go into our agenda this evening. We do not have any planning board business and policies, bills or warrants or minutes to address at this time. So we can get right into the meat of our agenda. I think we should be able to move right along with most of these items. So the first item, this is a continuation of SP 482 remand. This is on the agenda, and Brian, I'm not sure if you want to pull it up, but in discussion with town council after our last discussion on all of the conditions for the remand, there was a feeling that we didn't take a full vote on all of the conditions as the final decision. So that is all we need to do. We discussed all of them. We reached agreement on all of them, but we never voted them on as a unit. So town council has asked us to do that. If there's any further discussion, please feel free.
Looks good.
Motion to approve the findings and decisions as displayed in the meeting in front of us this evening.
Seconded.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on the motion to approve? Okay, hearing none, I will go through the roll. Eric?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
Perfect. And I will vote yes. So that is approved, and we can adjust that as appropriate, and will be filed by town council.
That was even easier than I thought it was gonna be.
We already did the hard work.
I thought she was gonna come back and say, you may wanna do something different.
But,
No?
yeah, we could go through the draft that she wrote up if we wanted to, but.
You want to just approved?
Yeah, I know.
Probably should've done that first, yeah.
It's just the four conditions.
I find it never makes sense to argue with town council,
I mean, it just gets really expensive really fast for
Yeah.
no reason whatsoever.
and they've got a good lawyer reason for it, so.
Yeah. So, next item on our agenda is review and sign off of plan set. So we had approved 0 Dean Street previously. We have the Mylar over here on the table. We do not necessarily need to do this at this point in the agenda, but please sign it before we go. Brian, anything else that we need to discuss as it relates to that one, or just sign the Mylar and a couple of paper copies?
No, it was just the Mylar, so after the decision, their attorneys had requested that they bring us the Mylars of the plan to sign.
Okay. Any discussion or comments on that item, or would you like to move on?
Let's continue.
I can stop by, Brian, if need be, next day or two.
Yeah. We do have 5 members here in the room, so that's
I won't stop, Brian, I'm not gonna stop by in the next day or two.
That's fine, Alan.
I was going to say, it's your discretion if you'd like to have your name on it regardless. So the next time it comes back, we're gonna say Alan's the one who we yell at for whatever happened with it. Okay. Next item is a continuation of site special permit or site plan review SPR-1 for 0 West Main Street. This was, again, an application for two 18-room boarding or rooming houses. Just to confirm, has everybody had a chance to review the note from town council yesterday as it relates to this?
Yes.
Okay. So essentially so the applicant is requesting continuance to our February 6th meeting. I am not sure if they will look to continue the current application, change it, file it as something else at this point. But they've asked for a continuance. Just to summarize, the opinion of town council was that her interpretation of the bylaws was that tourist and rooming house should have fallen under the same definition, as I think some of us expressed at the last meeting, and a couple of other mechanical ways that we would look to address that if it comes before us again. So they've requested a continuance. I don't think we need to necessarily classify anything right now, unless somebody feels the need. I'm inclined to go with the continuance and see what they'd like to propose, since they were also given a copy of town council's opinion, so.
Motion to continue SPR-1 until February 6th.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Steve, I thought you were looking to,
If we don't continue it, it just cancels out what they're doing right now, and they have to file a new thing.
well, we need to act on it in some way. We need to
Right.
continue it, or we need to issue a decision or something
Or
like
they
that,
would withdraw it.
or they withdraw it.
If we continue it, is that in any way saying that we're accepting their definition? Okay. Okay.
No.
Okay. Cause, yeah, okay, then continue, I'm fine with that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to continue to February the 6th. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. Eric?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes,
And I will vote yes. So we are continued on that item until February the 6th, where we'll see if the applicant chooses to withdraw or refile under a different use case. Okay. And that takes us to the final item on our agenda this evening, which is a preliminary discussion related to property located near Balfour Farms. I know we have the applicant here, so I'll ask them to come forward and just give a brief introduction here. Not sure if we thought you were gonna get up here this quick in the meeting,
I'm
but here
shocked.
we are.
I was prepared to be here till 10 o'clock when I saw the two 18-room boarding.
Well, we won't tell anybody how long the meeting was going until,
Yeah, don't tell Al. He's getting billed till 10 o'clock anyway.
Well, if you want, you can talk for 2 hours on it.
let's not, let's say we did.
Yeah, this will be quick. Hopefully this will be very quick.
Yes,
I
I'll be
won't
here long.
keep you, hold you guys up.
So,
So my name is Bob Forbes from Zenith Consulting Engineers. You may recall when we did Balfour Farm, which is essentially across the street. This is one entrance to Balfour Farm, then it winds to, then there's another entrance over here to Balfour Farm. So it's just down the road and where, I'm sorry, should I turn that?
No, I should probably.
It's okay, I'm just gonna come down here. We don't have this, we didn't receive this electronically.
No, we haven't submitted anything, and this is just totally informal, and we're very early on in the process. And I don't know, I know that several years ago, there was some turnover in the boards. You can do whatever you want, Brian. I can hit it with the laser from any angle.
I just want to make sure Alan can see it.
I don't think
No,
Tim wants to
thank
cover
you.
it over.
I don't think it's got a good view of it, but
So you
It's
may,
all right.
those of you who were on the board, I don't know, it had to be 3 years ago or so, I came in early on in the Balfour Farm process just to discuss informally with you. It's just something I like to do, get the planning board aware of what's being considered at this point. There's no design has been done yet. And what we have is, we have it's approximately 55.5 acre piece of land, and I've highlighted it in orange here. And the developer is the same developer as Balfour Farm, so it's Norton Land LLC. And just to situate you, this is Pine Street here. The college is over here, and this land, this large piece of land and this piece are also owned by, so two of the abutters are the college. Then we have conservation land here abutting the private, and then this is a privately owned parcel in the middle. So like I stated, the zoning for this parcel is R80, which is similar to what it was across the street, which requires 80,000 square foot lots and 150 feet of frontage. We do have, let me flip this over here. So this is, again, this is just a larger blow up of the property. This is Pine Street here. The Balfour Farms project starts approximately here. And also, just to let you know what's going on the property, we have wetlands that they've highlighted in green. Those have already been delineated and established, fixed by the Conservation Commission through an ANRAD. We also have this semicircular dashed line here. That's the IWPA. You may recall most of the property across the street was in the IWPA, which is the interim wellhead protection area. So it's just in a protection area for one of the town wells. And then we have another dashed line through here. It almost coincides with the IWPA, and that's endangered species habitat. And that's on this side of that line is the endangered species habitat. So the developer's intention is to develop this property as a residential subdivision. So, and what he would like to do is, again, come in with a cluster subdivision. Very similar, almost identical to what we did process-wise across the street. So I just wanted to quickly show you, we laid this out. This property has been surveyed, so we have an actual area, property line, topo, wetlands, all been surveyed. What this is the conventional layout, similar to what we did across the street. And it lays out, so what I highlighted in blue is the roadway system, proposed roadway system for the conventional. And I just highlighted the property lines in purple. So what we have is that these lots do conform to all the zoning requirements for Norton. We have very good soils actually for the majority of the property. There's some area up here that gets a little tighter, but we don't suspect there's going to be any problem getting perk tests out there if we have to end up going that route. So what this ends up being is 21 lots in the conventional layout. And so it amounts to 3,600 linear feet of roadway. And we have 3 wetlands crossings. Here, tiny one here, and here. So what we like to do, and hopefully the board will agree, we think this is a much better plan. And what this shows, again, is I've highlighted the property line in orange, wetlands in green, and the proposed roadway system, a little loop road here with a couple of cul-de-sacs coming off of it. And this is the cluster layout, where we would have a large open space parcel that abuts conservation area on this side of the property. Smaller one here that abuts the, I should mention that those two large parcels from, that are owned by Wheaton College, are not developed, a wooded area. I don't know if they're conservation land or what for Wheaton, but they're not, there's nothing on them. So they're large areas with nothing on them. So, what this does is, again, this is the one we're hoping to go with, and we hope the board agrees. It ends up limiting, the roadway ends up being about 2,700 linear feet of road, which is about 900 linear feet less of roadway. And again, I think the reason that we don't have a huge reduction from the conventional layout is because the cluster provisions don't provide for a reduction in roadway frontage when you go cluster. It just allows you to go to half the lot area with no reduction in roadway frontage. So you end up not getting huge reduction in the amount of roadway that you have to provide. And again, what this does is a river and wetland system down here. We pulled everything as far away from that as we could. This is a vernal pool. You remember there was discussion across the street about vernal pools. There's only one on this side of the property, and it's right here, so we pulled everything as far away from that vernal pool as we could. Completely got everything outside the IWPA, which is this line here, and we got everything outside the endangered species habitat as well. So like I said, the property's just under 56 acres. It's 55 and a half acres approximately. And what this plan provides is same number of lots as the conventional plan, but the open space is a total of 26.26 acres. And it's 17.14 acres of the contiguous upland area that's required, which is 37.75% of the developable area, the upland area on the property, and the regulations require 35%, so we're just a little bit above that, but quite a bit above it when you add in the wetlands that will be part of the open space as well. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, I like to come in early and get the planning board involved and let you guys know what is coming down the pipeline. And I don't know if you're interested, I would love to hear if the board thinks it's, that this is a better plan, like we think this is significantly better than the conventional layout.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously, as you said, there's been no design work done
No.
we obviously don't have any data on anything.
Nothing, yeah.
Tim, if I may, because this is the first time I've seen this project, but I am mapping this area currently for other reasons. So, at first I'd like to say thank you for trying to go with a cluster instead of spreading it all out. I really appreciate that. As far as the lot sizes, if there's any consideration of affordable housing, the board can reduce setbacks requirements and frontage and lot size. We can increase density up to 3 times.
40B you're talking about?
Yes.
We have not considered that, but is that something this board in the town, I've done many 40Bs, and a lot of times it's very controversial when you bring a 40B in front of the town.
If I may.
It is, Norton is not unique in that respect.
Yeah.
I would just
So
go
we
with
try
that.
to avoid that if we can, yeah.
And 40Bs in Norton would be looked over by the zoning board of the planning board.
Right.
Okay, so the other things about the property itself. It does sit in one of our largest contiguous wooded areas. It is between multiple rivers and wetlands. It's a very sensitive habitat in that regards. Probably unknown to most people, it is also one of our largest contiguous areas that's still huntable. For instance, the private parcel behind this lot, not owned by Wheaton or the town,
It's
Uh,
Martin, I believe.
Yeah,
Martin owns
somebody
it.
the third.
Yeah.
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 That is all hunting land. And if you put a house within 600 feet of that property, you're gonna start eating into his hunting parcel if that's what he's using it for. And you can't hunt within 600 feet of the house. So again, as far close to Pine Street is more desirable in that it doesn't eat into the woodlands, it doesn't eat into the hunting possibilities. That would be my biggest concern, especially the river sections. But I do appreciate trying to cluster it. As far as the open space area, if it were gonna happen, I want it to be accessible to the public
Of course.
with public parking, and it should just be built right in that everybody has clear access to it, you know, available at any time.
I believe it's a requirement of the zoning that we have
It is,
access from a
but
public road. and-
They're often designed in a way that doesn't seem like you should walk behind somebody's backyard.
No, understood. So what we're showing here is come down the end of this cul-de-sac and the public road accesses directly into the open space parcel, right at the end of the road. No, you can see one lot here, the wide open space to go right onto the open. Oh, that's what we were hoping to provide, yeah.
That's, I guess, most of my,
No, thank
my
you.
input.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And I believe this is the parcel that you're talking about, that's the Martin parcel here.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So we've got everything pushed as far away from that as possible, and we'd love to be able to provide, this open space that's contiguous to the conservation land that's over here. And presumably that, I don't think we're gonna be able to hunt on this, cause actually probably back here you could. But once you get closer to these houses, like you
It's
said, I
600,
thought it was
yeah.
500 feet, I didn't realize it was
It might be
600,
5, it might be
600.
5, but it is 150 from the road and maybe 500 from the
Yeah.
house, but yeah.
Yeah,
The other thing would be the connection on the opposite side to Wheaton Lands, to make that available if they want to choose to walk out there. And if anybody in the neighborhood wants to walk through Wheaton Land, I'm sure that would mostly be allowed. There's trails out there already that are utilized.
agreed, and we would have to provide that as well, we will provide that, just because we're providing one, if we have an open space parcel here, I believe we're gonna be required to do that, so that we will absolutely have an access to that area back there.
Okay. That would be.
And again, this is very early on in the process, so, and if you guys have any wants or wishes on what we do here, I really appreciate you telling me all of those things, because I will try, when we go and get down to nuts and bolts and actually design something, I'll take all of that into consideration and try to do the best I can to provide that.
Okay. But yeah, as far as the affordable housing thing, it is an argument against reducing the amount of land disturbed. If that comes into play, if you have to argue against the resistance of town approving that kind of project, it does benefit the fact that the nature's preserved. It gives a lot more to the town if that area that is preserved is gonna be allowed to be accessed by the town. That's a huge benefit. Every project we pass should benefit the residents in some form.
I am a big proponent of affordable housing. There is you may or may not be aware, there is an affordable component to the cluster development in town. It may even be the conventional, is that correct, or is it just the
It's
cluster?
the conventional as
Yeah,
well.
so there is a component
Mhm.
here for that.
That's another reason why to reach up to the next percentage point of 30% might not be that far out, because you're already required, I think, what, 11?
Yeah, I would have to check.
Yeah.
But Norton is over the state threshold for affordable housing, so it's not a 40B.
So it doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Makes it even harder.
But we did
When you're
we did
over-
require to keep it. We didn't vote to deny the requirement for 40B. We voted to retain that, even though we hit the threshold.
If we want to. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, but it's voluntary. Yes.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm personally a big proponent of affordable. I have 2 kids in their 20s, and neither one of them at this point can even ever foresee owning a home which I find very sad.
We ended up taking over my father's home because we almost went homeless ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, affordable housing is absolutely necessary in this
Yeah.
community too.
Yeah, it's
So.
statewide, it's absolutely statewide, but,
No.
for right now, it's on, what likely is coming in is a cluster development. And if there's nothing else, I thank you all for your time.
Alan, I know you're here remote, I wanna make sure that, I know you can't see the poster in front of us, I've tried to do my best to walk through the assessor's map on the Zoom meeting, but,
We've got a good imagination.
Want me to hold it up to the camera, Alan?
No need.
No? Okay.
okay. Anyone else have any questions, comments at this point? Obviously, I think my only question would just be in terms of timing as it relates to the other project, in terms of, is the expectation that you would get that one mostly filled up before you broke ground on this one?
That's an excellent question, and I wish Al were here to answer it. I don't know the answer to that, to be honest.
That's,
I know he's.
I don't know
if-
is an acceptable answer.
Yeah. I don't know if any of you have been out there. I know I did drive in a couple months ago, and that the first roadway, the cul-de-sac roadway is constructed. Looked nice, and I know he's working on the one that's kind of loop road comes in now. So I believe he's close to having it ready to go for sales, but I don't know where he is with that. So
Okay.
the timeline for me is, as we discussed, Brian, once we go to design, which is not weeks away, it's months away, we would then go to that interdepartmental meeting that you talked about, which we did the first time through, and get the comments from all the town departments, and then we took their comments, changed the plans once again before we even filed with this board. So it's likely to go down the same way if we move forward with this, if and when.
So the short answer is summer or later, probably,
For submittal to this board?
until we see it.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns? Okay,
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it. Thanks for having me.
okay. Stop sharing here. Okay.
Does this new project have a name?
No,
No?
too early even for a name.
Okay.
So for now, we'll just call it Balfour Farms.
We'll call it the other
Phase 2.
project.
Let's come up with a different.
I call it Pine Street South Side, but that's not the name of it. This, what I'm calling it, just because we don't have a name.
Got it.
Okay. So that concludes the items listed on our agenda. Is there anything else anybody wanted to discuss in the open forum this evening?
As far as the next meeting, we are gonna discuss zoning recodification,
That's 13.
the 13th, okay.
And that's not the full board, but the working group.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's gonna be the group of planning and zoning.
But the 6th is before that.
Okay.
So the 6th would be our next meeting. Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I think that's Laura and Wayne for the motion. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Eric?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes?
Wayne? Yes. Laura?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
And I will vote yes. Thank you very much, everybody, and good evening.